Hey dear one, today I want to share about my experiences with the programmed teachers. Spiritual teachers. And there's one thing I want to start with. Most people have no idea how programming is actually working. Mind control, we are really speaking about mind control. So I am not wishing any harm to those teachers, and I have a lot of compassion out of understanding for their path, because it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They have been traumatized and programmed already as children, and they are not aware of it. And the way those programs are working is they are connected with those traumas and those deep wounds and fears in people. Therefore, people will do anything to not look at it. And so the reason why I share this is not to judge those people, because I cannot judge them, or you should also not judge them for what they went through or what they are still going through, because that's hell. But they have an effect on other people because of their programming. That has to be a match. And the people who are looking for the teachers, they are always looking for something like feeling special, wanting to be part of a group of like-minded, searching for wisdom and knowledge, searching for spiritual enlightenment, and whatever it is. This is on the side of the followers and students of those teachers. And the teachers, as I said, they went through extreme programming and done through trauma. So I share these stories out of my own life, and to not confuse you, I will just name them with a single letter. To not confuse you, who am I talking about? And it's not about calling them out, because it is, as I said, I don't wish them any harm, because they already suffer enough, and I have a lot of compassion for them. But they are doing harm by staying in their program. And if you're listening, I know you think your teacher is different. I know you do, because you want to believe. And we all want to believe. And we all have those programs running inside of us. And I wouldn't claim to be free of trauma and programs, but I have experienced enough and seen through enough that I really feel it is important to share these stories, so you may gain some understanding how this is actually working, because this might be easier if you hear about those experiences. 1 year ago, I have published this book, The New Age of Deception, and I have actually shared the conclusions out of those experiences in that book, that groups have been used, and the leaders of those groups or teachers have been used to actually mislead the people who would otherwise wake up and make a difference now on the planet. So that this was planned long time ago, and it was prepared long time ago to kind of direct the ones or misdirect the ones that would otherwise be troublemakers, and that might be you or me. And that is the reason why there is a cult for everybody, as my friend Nina from Love Always Wins said. And please check out her channel. There you will find more information from a little bit different angle about this topic. Okay. I have made brewed some coffee. So it will be just like a conversation where I just share my experiences. Okay. And I was thinking, if I name those people with a single letter, I might go from A to Z. Because, yeah, I've seen that so often. Okay, I will start with the leader of the sisterhood I have been a member in, and I will give her the name M. And M had issues with pain in her body, and she was having an attachment on the astral that she could sense and see and feel. And she tried to get rid of it, but it came back again and again and again, and she was asking me for help. Okay, and I removed that a few times, and it always came back again. And it was like, to me, it looked like an octopus sitting there, no, on that side of her head. Or was it that side? I don't remember clearly. Okay, she had it, it was over her ear, on the side of her head. I think it was the right side. Yeah, it was the right side of her head. And she really suffered from that, and she also had other physical issues. And okay, I removed that stuff, and it came back, and it came back, and it came back. And one day I sat down, I want to know where the root is, because this is actually, that's no fun to see that happen again and again, because it's just coming back. That's not making any sense. I want to know where it comes from. And so I went traveling, and I tracked the energy of that entity, and I ended up under the temple in Jerusalem. And there was this black stone, and I described this to her, and she could see that too. And yeah, I've done some work there, and it made a lot of sense. She later told me she had been abused by the god of her religion for 7 years. And so she validated what I found. But I also have to say that her program came back strong and stronger than it ever used to be, because she was abusive herself. And in other videos, I have already shared that I left that sisterhood, and yeah, they caused some trouble, because the programming is so immense in those people. They are just not able to free themselves. And it seems over time those programs are overtaking more and more of their consciousness. And yeah, those are really, really sad stories if you have to witness that. And yeah, she, as I said, she was leading a group that had to do with the flower behind me. And I was astonished a few months ago when I read the book from, what is her name? Katie O'Brien, The Transformation of America, where you could read that this is actually related to the New World Order and to programming high up in the secret services. And it's making, now in hindsight, all of that is making a lot of sense. And this experience with the sisterhood was not the first experience I had with spiritual teacher who were abusing people and who were under some influence. That's not been the first experience, but it was a huge experience in my life. And it is also related with other stories. And a while later, I found by someone I trusted. She was sharing about someone she trusted, because that's the way how it's working. And let's call him G, just G. And I was actually suspicious from the beginning because of the many experiences, but he seemed to be different because he was calling out the whole religious and New Age stuff and all of that. And also he seemed to have freed himself from the Galactic Federation of Light and was calling it out as false light. So it seemed he had broken free from his programming. Okay. But over time, a lot of stuff occurred that showed that something wasn't quite right. And other people I knew have seen that too. And I was about to leave, but decided for some reason that I didn't understand back then, that is clear to me now, that I might stay a little bit longer. And it was important because otherwise I wouldn't be able to find all the whole network was only visible to me afterwards because I stayed. And he then told his followers that he has been actually part of the SSP program and has freed himself from that. Okay, so he freed himself from the Galactic Federation of Light, then he freed himself from the SSP. And as I really liked him, I wanted to believe. As I said, there's always our own programming that is running too. We want to believe. And when we like someone, yeah, we overlook red flags and stuff that doesn't fit. So I wanted to believe that he freed himself. And I realized a pattern in between, that people who seem to break their program, that seems to be another program. They kind of break out of a shell to just end in another shell. And every time they believe they are free now, because very, very recently I could observe this with a young woman that this was happening to her. So, okay, coming back to G, he was saying, yeah, he freed himself, but he didn't. And I could see that clearly, and I was then leaving that group. And at the same time, I met a lot of people who were in other groups. And for example, the group of CNS. And in the group of CNS, a lot of dark magic had happened, a lot of dark rituals and energetic abuse had taken place, and some of those people have been really, really traumatized through those experiences, or by becoming, that's an interesting thing. People feel the pain when they realize the program actually, and so they connect the pain with the breaking free, and so a lot of people, they realized what happened, but they didn't really face their trauma because of the pain, because they connected the pain with the breaking free, while the pain was not because of the breaking free, but because of realizing the trauma, and because of all of those programs are connected with trauma. This is how it happens, and that is the reason why it is so difficult for people to break free from those programs. Okay, and that is also the reason why people who seem to break free from it just end up in another program. It's still the same program. It just is a little bit different teacher, or it's a little bit different group. So it is repetition, because they didn't really free themselves and didn't really break free from their trauma, just like M didn't, and G also, he didn't, and CNS didn't, and a few of their followers who tried to break free also didn't, and so it is repeating itself. Then there was T, for example. He was also a spiritual leader, young guy, and he was then, he could see a lot of that stuff. He was also connected with CNS, but he was then falling under the spell of someone else. And so you see all of those people, they're all just falling into the same trap, just with another name. And he had shared in the past too that he has been the student of an abusive teacher. But like so many people who are abused, they become the abuser themselves. That is happening for spiritual abuse or energetic abuse also. So that was another guy. Then, yeah, someone I saw recently was a woman. Let's give her what is free. We give her a B, because there's still an A I have also to talk about here. So let's talk about B. And B, she was a healer and teacher, and she was talking about being abused in the past too, and that she broke free, and then she became, she herself became a public figure and started teaching. And after a while, she realized, okay, she has been abused by this group of entities, the Anunnaki, they are called in ancient language, and they played a huge role over the last few months. Those programs that come from that, and she then said, yeah, she realized that and she broke free. You see the pattern, she was abused, and then she broke free, and then she broke free, and then she broke free. And all of the time, those people are teaching others who believe in them. That's an issue. And that's funny because all of those people are also, they are sharing truth and they are doing good in the world, because this is kind of the intention of their front personality, and that is what they identify with, and that is also what their followers are identifying with and what they are connecting with. Just there's also the program running in the background that is then giving misleading information also. And yeah, this young lady, I realized she was sharing information that I then found in the newspaper, and I was wondering, and I was asking people, how come I find information in the newspaper that she was sharing? Just the newspaper was connecting it to some conspiracy stuff that we all know is a psyop of Secret Service. And they said, that group has shared that long before she shared it. And I thought, okay, that is interesting. She's sharing some psyop stuff. Okay. And then there was this teacher, Jay. And Jay was connected with a ton of other letters, and I could see her, through her, I could see the connection between all of the others, the G and the C and S and all of those people. You could see the whole spider web, the whole connection of the spiritual mafia that is behind it, and that is behind the mind control. And so the followers of B were accusing J that she would steal stuff from B. And I just said, okay, maybe they just have the same source. And yeah, instantly someone was jumping at me. She's not having a source. She's not channeling. She's giving your information out of herself. And I thought, okay, there's no way to wake up those people because they want to believe. And what was interesting also, B was showing up then in this virtual room herself and was saying, yeah, Jay was stealing her stuff, because she doesn't do that consciously, but it's been her program that was afraid to be exposed. So, and I know this is all kind of confusing, but you see how they are all having the same pattern. And all of their followers have the same pattern. And all of their followers think they are just following the real deal. And maybe after a while, because a lot of people there were saying, yeah, they used to follow Jay too, but then they didn't resonate any longer. Yeah, because there's a cult for everybody. If you think, something isn't quite right, you leave this group and you end up with another teacher, because you haven't healed yourself from the programming. And the ones who are under heavy mind control, who are teaching those people, they think they break free from some evil healer and then from some Anunnaki group, and not realizing every time they are breaking free, they just see one layer of the deception, but they don't break free from their programming, because the programming is connected through trauma with deep fears and wounds. And that is how all of that is happening. And a few months ago, someone who was connected to, I think, almost all of them, let's give her the letter A, she was spilling the beans in front of the camera on YouTube, and she was calling someone out who has been abusing her, and she was saying how she was under mind control, and that all of those, she was really doubting that there are any spiritual teachers who are legit. And she said, there are many cults. There are many cults, and there's a big cult who is using all of those cults. And that is the truth, because this is what I wrote last year in my book. This is how it is happening, and she could see that. And yeah, as I said, she was spilling the beans, and because she just had a kind of breakdown, and later she took off the video, and now you can, if you are able to see that, if you have enough experience, you can now watch her, how she is actually jumping from one altered personality into the other, and how her programming is kind of, the different alters are kind of switching in and out, and how her program is kind of flickering, and but she still stays in her program. And yeah, she was the one who was actually telling the same I'm now telling you. And she was in the game, and she spoke about the game, because she was wounded herself. But as she needs money, and she earns her money through the internet, by teaching other people, and she has kids, and she said all of that in front of the camera while her meltdown. Yeah, of course, she decided to stay in her program, because it would have been, I guess, too scary to leave it behind and try to get through in these times by, I don't know, whatever she might be able to do, if she's not a spiritual teacher. And yeah, and it's not just the financial side. It is also the deep emotional pain she would have to face. And so she doesn't. She just tries to keep on keeping on. And maybe others who witnessed that, they maybe that didn't break their program, but it made it become more intense, because now they don't dare to break the program themselves, because they can see that is a painful thing. And it many are just circling and cycling in and out, and as I said, they want to break free, and they want to believe they have broken free, because they want to see themselves as independent and strong personalities because of their ego. And I think that's understandable, but they are not doing themselves a favor, because CNS, they are having a meltdown, a breakdown too, because all of that stuff is taking a toll on those people, and they are used and themselves, but they want to take the money, they want to take the attention and energy of people. They want to be powerful, but they don't want to take the responsibility. And that topic of power and responsibility is going to be another video. But in this one, I just wanted to share with you how all of that is working. And I could share a ton of stories about a ton of people because it seemed to have been part of my own life path, because they tried to program me and they tried to use me too, but it wasn't working with me properly, because there is something inside of me that is breaking free. And so I can speak out of understanding, and as I said, I have a lot of compassion for those people and their programming, and I see how painful it is. But as I also said, they are doing a lot of damage because they are reaching a lot of people, and all of those people who should focus on their inner truth. They should focus on their own importance, not hand over their power, not see someone else as important, but realize they are responsible for one person and they are holding the power of one person, and that is themselves. And that is what people have to realize. And so maybe this pain that people will have to face, that they have been misled, and to be really, really honest how this was actually possible. And I guess this is going to be another video where I share how this is actually possible, and I will also share out of own experience, my own experience and people I know and people I've spoken with and who have been abused, spiritual abused, and how their programming is always fitting with the program of the abuser, because it's two sides of the same coin, so to speak. Okay, but for today, just understand that you want to believe in someone else who is way more advanced than you, who has way more knowledge than you, and see they may hold some other pieces and parts of the puzzle, but there is no one higher up in the pyramid of power, because this is just a big, big deception, the pyramid of power. And you would find more about that in the video. Is the Dark assisting you or helping you is the title. Yeah, there you would find out more why the pyramid of power is always false light and false darkness, and is there's no one higher up. They're just people who are holding other pieces and parts of the puzzle, and don't hand over your power to anybody else. Okay. I guess that's been enough for today, and yeah, take good care, and in case you have to share any stories and insights, please comment below. And yeah, have a great time. Until next time, your Natalie. Bye.